Girl, what we got going on? How are you feeling? I don't know about you, but last week was a little, well, I guess it's technically this week as I'm recording this, but I'm thinking about that Mars-Pluto opposition happening in Leo and Aquarius, and then also the T-square that was coming from the sun in Taurus. Spicy energy. Like, I was like, even though it's on my natal T-square that I have, I was like, oh, I already know what I'm working through. Like, it's fine. Like, I got this. I know the energy, so I'm good. Honey, no, I wasn't good. I wasn't good. I mean, obviously, the things that come up need to come up. So that's, there's beauty in that. There is something we can take from that. But damn, it really, like the Pluto Mars really activated some of our core wounds, right? And some of our core wounds are like rejection, abandonment, betrayal, all these like intense things, right? So yesterday on Thursday, I like had this moment in the afternoon where I was literally, I had a little minty bee. We had a little minty bee and it was okay. I'm glad that I let myself feel those feelings. And I was able to work through that, luckily. But just so you know, like, you're not the only one. If you're going through a time right now, that's the energies. And what's interesting is this tension that is being created in our lives, whether internally, externally, or both. It's like the tension is there for a reason. It is literally, maybe not literally, but it is pushing us to grow and to do things differently. And that is so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. So just, I'm sending you props because I'm sure you're working through your own things too. And we're all just trying our best. We are all just trying our best. And that's all we can do. That's literally all we can do. So, that happened. But a good thing that I want to share is, I have been working to step into my role as like stepping into more of a leadership role in the work that I want to do and what I'm passionate about, which is like mental health and spirituality and healing, self-love, all of that good stuff. And yesterday I hosted a virtual group ritual, which was essentially like a little workshop. And it was all about realigning and reconnecting with your intuition. And, of course I was excited to do it, but there were also fears too around like, what if nobody shows up, or, what if something goes wrong and all of that. So there's been tension that's been building up to that point of me being able to host that with more confidence than I would have in the past. So, you take the bad with the good, and that's the beauty. Like, literally taking that bad luck and turning it into magic. Like, that is what we are all about. Okay, so anyway, that's what we've had that going on. But before I jump into today's episode, I want to just talk about the fact that we are finished with April for the most part, and we are starting a new month. Okay, we're starting a new month. We also just had a new moon in Taurus, so it's like we are starting a fresh new cycle. So there's a lot of newness in the air. And where did I put that? Oh, Hold on one moment. I don't know what I did with that. Okay, well, whatever. I guess I was just thinking about how I feel like in May, well, the tarot card, the tarot message that I pulled for us for May is the Magician, right? Magician, we love to see the Magician, okay? This is all about, well, what I take from this is gathering strength, gathering creativity within us, and also like taking an audit of all of the resources that we have at our disposal, maybe even looking in places we haven't been looking for resources, getting creative with it, and using those resources, our creativity, and our strength to bring our vision to life. This card is all about manifesting. And as you can see here, he has got like the infinity symbol above his head. He has all four like elements, resources available to him. He's got the pentacles, swords, wands, and cups. Okay, so this is like money, financial, material abundance. This is intellectual and mental clarity. This is creativity and passion, and it is intuition and emotions. Okay, so he's taken all of that and he's using it to manifest his reality. One moment. Okay, so let me tell you why the Magician is the perfect tarot message for us for the month of May. So this month we are finally catching up to ourselves. So we had the eclipses and the retrograde energies from March and April that had us rethinking what we value and how we show up in our lives. And honestly, we may have been feeling like our foundation has been crumbling around us. But now we are at a place where the changes we wanted to make are now being integrated into our daily lives. And we have also reestablished our values in a major way. So I get this feeling that we're taking more initiative and seeing ourselves as a leader that is here to make a lasting change, whatever that means for us on our individual journeys. And this, well, okay, before we get into this week, let's talk about this. Like, May is a big month. May is less intense than the previous months have been. We'll only have one planet going retrograde this month, and that will be Pluto, and that's not as, it's not as intense unless maybe you're a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising, because they're ruled by Pluto. But since the personal planets like Mercury, Venus, Mars, like those are not going to be retrograde, we're going to still feel like we have this momentum. But let's talk real quick about what are the main transits happening this month. What are the main energies that we want to be aware of as we move through the month of May? Well, the first week we got here is technically April 30th. We will have Venus moving back into Aries. So if we think back to February, Venus was moving through Aries. It got, it got a little bit into Aries, and then on March 1st, it started going retrograde, and it actually slid back into Pisces. So there was something about reevaluating what we value, our relationships, our self-worth, our finances, all of that good stuff. But now that it is not retrograde anymore and it's moving back into the fiery sign of Aries, it's like we are moving forward with passion and energy, especially when it comes to those Venusian themes of relationships, beauty, self-worth, art, creativity, pleasure, all of those things are going to get like reignited, and we're going to be feeling more confident. Then on May 4th, we'll have Pluto go retrograde in Aquarius until October 13th of this year. So that's 5 months of Pluto going retrograde. And really, what I feel like is happening here is, let me think. So Pluto went into Aquarius. It's been there kind of a time or two, but retrograded back into Capricorn. But anyway, last November. Pretty sure last November was when Pluto went into Aquarius to stay for the next 20 years, basically. And, you know, since November, there have probably been things that have come up for us that need healing, that need to be transformed, that need to die off so something else can be reborn in its place. Pluto deals with themes of power and control. So there's a sense of, okay, since November, maybe we have noticed big changes in our lives, particularly maybe in the Aquarius ruled house of your chart, or around themes of Aquarius themes are humanitarianism, like friend groups, networking, like groups of people, society. It also rules over technology and the future. So it's like we've been making some changes, and now at this retrograde point, we are reflecting on the changes we've been making. It's like we're doing an internal review and seeing, okay, the power or the themes of power, control, transformation, death, and rebirth. What needs my attention? What still needs healing? What is coming up to the surface to be transformed? It's almost like going back to the drawing board and rethinking our strategy. And I especially see this, I mean, obviously with astrology, it's like this is collective energy. All of these transits that I'm talking about, they impact all of us, sometimes more than others, depending on your chart placements. But I get this sense that, like, okay, since November, the election, let's just talk about that real quick. Since the election in November, we have seen all of this shit bubble up in terms of power and control. And I feel like as we go through this retrograde period, us as a society are going to be rethinking our strategy of how we are handling, like, or how we want to handle these power structures that are not sustainable. And we're not doing this anymore. Okay, we're not doing this anymore. So we're going back to the drawing board and we're figuring some shit out. But I mean, shit comes up, you know, like this tension, like I mentioned before, it's like tension comes up for us to actually take action and resolve it. So this is going to be a good time to re-strategize. Then on May 10th, Mercury, the sign of intellect, communication, collaboration, ideas, thought process, that will be moving into Taurus. So our communication and our ideas are going to be more grounded in reality, and we're going to be more focused on things that are sustainable, that have long-lasting, long-lasting gains from it. And then on May 12th, we'll have a spicy full moon in Scorpio. And this is going to be shining a light on what's been hidden, especially around Scorpio themes, which again, since Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, those similar themes of power, control, what's underneath the surface, secrets, transformation, what needs to die and be reborn. It's like really looking in the caverns of the shadows. This is the shadows. Like, what do we not want to look at, but we have to look at? So that's going to be something. That's going to be something. And just think, like 6 months ago, I guess the new moon in Scorpio would have been, when would that have been? That would have been early November, I think. Yeah, so think back to early November. Like, what were you trying to call in? What seeds were you planting at that time? Because come May 12th, that's when you're going to see like something come to fruition, or like the efforts you've been putting in over the last 6 months. You'll be able to see like how you've brought that to life. And then on May 20th, we'll have the sun in Gemini. So Gemini season, where we'll have more energy and vitality when it comes to communication, connection, collaborations. And then on May 24th, we'll have Saturn moving into Aries, okay? Like, Saturn is one of the outer planets. So we have our personal planets, which is the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. And then we have the more generational outer planets that take a while to move through each zodiac sign. Whereas like the personal planets, you know, the moon changes a zodiac sign every couple of days. You know, Venus might take a month to move through a sign. But when you get to these outer planets, the generational planets, it takes like at least a year, maybe 2 years to move through a zodiac sign. So it's like these deep collective lessons that we're meant to learn. And that's why 2025 is such a big year for all of us, because all of these generational outer planets like Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, the North Node, what else? Uranus, Jupiter, like all of them, literally all of them are moving into new zodiac signs. So it's like we are getting brand new energy. That might be why everything feels insane right now. But come May 24th, Saturn, Big Daddy Saturn, is going to be moving into Aries. And Saturn has been in Pisces for a couple of years. I'll get the exact dates when we get closer to that time, but it's like, okay, Saturn has been moving through Pisces, and these are very opposite energies. Saturn, think about Saturn. Saturn has the rings around it. Saturn wants boundaries. It is all about restrictions, lessons, karma. It's like it also relates to time and mastery and putting time into something, being patient and letting it grow into something. Saturn is like, it's tough. Like, think about Saturn returns. It's like that is typically a really difficult time in everyone's life, where they're coming to terms with things and they're starting to realize their own mortality, and they start to become more serious, which is very Saturn. But then you have Pisces. Pisces is like boundaryless. It wants to merge completely with everything, and it's very compassionate. It's very loving. It just wants to give. And Saturn's like, no, honey. If you overgive, you're gonna be upset. You're gonna be upset. So it's been teaching us these lessons around boundaries and spirituality. And with it moving into Aries, it's going to be close to Neptune that also just moved into Aries. And Saturn in Aries is like structured commitment towards blazing your own trail. Aries is the first zodiac sign. It is an initiator, a starter. It is very independent. So there's something about committing to your own personal, individual journey and making sure that you are stepping into your power and into your leadership role and committing to that in a way that can sustain you for the long haul. Then the next day on the 25th, Mercury will be entering into Gemini as well. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So it loves to be in Gemini. So we're going to be witty. We're going to be quick thinking. We're going to have like instant connections with people. We might be feeling more social. We might be feeling more collaborative. A great time for a lot of ideas circulating. And then what we'll close May out with on the 26th is a new moon in Gemini. So this is starting a new cycle for us when it comes to communication and connections. I'm kind of just getting the feeling as I'm saying that now, like something new beginning with even like social media. Social media is very Gemini. So I'm getting the sense here that maybe by the time there's a full moon in Gemini during like Sagittarius season, which will be like December, maybe things on social media or how we use social media will be very different than how we use it now. That's just something to think about. We'll see how that plays out. So that's May. That's May. And how you can use this too is if you know your birth chart, you know your whole sign houses, like where Scorpio lands in your birth chart, where Gemini lands in your birth chart, you can kind of see like, okay, what am I building up to in terms of the Scorpio area of my life? Where am I going to be shining a light? And then when it comes to the new moon, where does Gemini live in my chart? And like, where am I starting a new cycle? A couple of announcements for this month. What do I want to say? So events, Saturday, I will be hosting a monthly coffee meetup. We're going to meet at a cute little coffee shop here in Asheville. So if you are local, feel free to join. I will add some more details to that in the show notes. And then it's just going to be chill, like spend an hour and a half, grab some coffee and just chat. Like I'll bring, the main transits happening for May so we can chat about that. We can chat about what it means for you on a personal level if you know your chart. And we're just going to talk about, how April was for us and what we're looking forward to in May, like what we're trying to call in. So that's going to be fun. And then Tuesday, May 6th and May 20th, my fellow coach friend Nicole and I will be hosting our book club. We have been, we've had the book club going for a couple of months now. We've been reading Women Who Run with the Wolves, which if you haven't read this, like every woman especially should read this. The amount of like depth and deep like resonation with everything that she writes is it's very validating and supportive. Talks a lot about intuition, and just our connection with the feminine archetype. So even if you don't have the book, like, you're more than welcome to join and jump in on the conversation. You know, we'll give a synopsis of each chapter and then at the beginning, and then we'll just jump into conversation. So it's a good time. That is linked in the show notes below. And let's see what else. That's all I want to mention, I guess, for events. Coaching wise, if you are interested in a coaching session with me, all the details are down below. I do want to highlight one particular program I have, which is the Passion Discovery Workshop Series. And these are one-on-one sessions. So me and you meeting together 3 different times. And the first session, we will look into what alignment looks like for you on an individual level. In the second session, we will look at your birth chart and see where your unique talents, passions, and purpose, motivation, inspiration all lie. And we can kind of dive into, you know, what your purpose is and what your why is. And then in the third session, we will come up with a game plan together of how you can start taking intentional action steps with this newfound clarity of what you're passionate about, what your purpose is, so that you can start living that. It's about being connected with your intuition and like reigniting a spark that already lives within you to make a change in the world. Like, I truly believe that we each have something so unique, a unique light to bring out into the world. And now more than ever, we need that. We need everyone to step into their own personal power and what their purpose is, so that we can heal as a society and progress forward. Like, the thing is, okay, it's like millennials, I'm a millennial, it's like we're becoming adults. We are adults, but sometimes it feels like we're maybe not, but it's like we're adults. We are the change makers. No one's coming to save us, like, obviously. Obviously, no one's coming to save us, and that brings up a lot of stuff. It feels very unsafe. It feels very ungrounded. But what we really need right now is to take care of ourselves on an individual level as much as we can. Figure out our why, figure out our purpose, so that we can be that and we can live that and we can help literally figure out what the fuck is going on. And like, do something about it. We have to do something about it. We are now the adults, and it's like, I just think of the people in the past that were change makers and leaders. No one came to them and told them, okay, like, it's your turn to step up and, you know, hopefully help the world. It's like, no, this is intrinsic. We have to understand what we are so passionate about, like, that we're driven to take action that is going to leave an impact and make an impact on our current society, but also generations to come. Like, dude, no one's coming to save us. Like, it is up to us. Anyway, sorry for that soapbox, but I'm very clearly very passionate about that. Because I see the potential in everyone. I know that there's like sometimes a big spark, a big flame that's already within people. But especially the people who I know have it within them and maybe they don't see it themselves yet. I'm like, I see it. Let's go. Like, let's stoke that flame so that we can make a difference. Like, what are we even here for then? Okay. Anyway, so that's May. Thank you for rolling with me there. Okay. Let's talk about the first week of May. Okay, so this week there is no holding back, honey. This is all about activating confidence and motivation towards our deepest desires. And that is because Venus is moving back into Aries. So our hearts are on fire with Venus re-entering Aries after a 6-week reflection period where we placed our where we place our value and energy back then looks vastly different from now, I am sure. And now it's like, we know what we want. We know what is feeding our energy, and we know what has been draining our energy. So at this point in time, there's no stopping us. We're just like, okay, I see the vision. I'm going to go for it. We are also beginning to feel, like I mentioned before about Pluto, we're beginning to feel the slow down of this outer transformation that we've experienced while Pluto has been moving through Aquarius since last November. So as Pluto slows down, stops, and appears to go backwards, retrograde, at the end of this week, in a lot of ways, our recent cycle of death and rebirth is really being crystallized in our reality. So from now until October, Pluto is asking us to turn inward and reflect on how we have radically transformed and what is still lurking deep underneath the surface that requires healing before we move forward again. This reprocessing and healing will allow us to use our unique individual gifts in a way that supports the evolution of humanity as a whole. Why do I say that? I say that again because Aquarius is all about the collective, the group, the people. But if you know Aquarius, any Aquarius you know is likely very rebellious, very unique, very eccentric, very different. They see things from a different perspective. They are like already in the future. And what's interesting about them is they are their own eccentric, unique person, but they see how they as an individual play an important role within the group. Okay? Like, they are not just for themselves. They are for themselves, but for the people. So that's what we're going to be thinking about. Let's jump into our mini scope, because this relates, our mini scope is going to relate to these Pluto, these Pluto themes, and like where this is going to be happening in our chart. So this is where we're going to notice what is ready to die, not literally, but what's ready to die, decompose, and transform around a certain area of your life. And then we're going to talk about like where you're feeling more confident and motivated to pursue what you desire, which is the Venus in Aries. So let's get into it. So Aries, this week you may be noticing what's ready to die and transform around your connections, your friend groups, your communities, and your hopes and wishes. And you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you desire in your personal goals, your appearance, and your identity. Taurus, you're noticing what's ready to die and transform around your career, your public image, and you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you desire in your healing journey and subconscious beliefs. Gemini, you are noticing what's ready to die and transform when it comes to your beliefs, education, and travel, and you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you desire in friend groups, communities, and your own personal dreams. Cancer, you're ready to see something die and transform around your own personal transformation. Maybe you're letting go of old versions of you that no longer serve you. This is also related to intimate relationships and mental health as well. and you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you desire in your career, your legacy, and public image. Leo, you are noticing what's ready to transform around your close one-on-one relationships. And you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you desire around, long distance travel, your spirituality, what you believe, and higher education. Virgo, this week you are witnessing what's ready to die and transform around your health, your daily habits, and how you show up in service to other people. And you're feeling more confident and motivated to pursue what you desire in your intimate relationships, personal transformation, and wealth. Libra, this week you're noticing what's ready to die and transform when it comes to your home, your family life, your private life, your emotional foundation, and you're feeling confident and motivated to, oh no, that's not right. Okay, my bad. Okay, Libra, you are noticing what's ready to die and transform around your creative projects, your hobbies, and romance, and you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you desire in your close one-on-one partnerships. Scorpio, this week you are noticing what's ready to die and transform around your home, family dynamics, and your emotional foundation, and you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you desire in your wellness, your daily habits, and your service to other people. Sagittarius, you are noticing what's ready to die and transform around your communication, your local neighborhood, and your extended family, and you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you desire in your creative projects, fun, and romance. Capricorns, you're noticing what's ready to transform around your self-worth and your income, and you're feeling confident and motivated to pursue what you want in your home, family, and private life. Aquarius, you are noticing what's ready to transform around your appearance, your self-image, and your personal goals, and you're feeling confident to pursue what you want in communication, your local neighborhood, and your extended family. Pisces, you are noticing what's ready to die and transform when it comes to your healing journey and your subconscious beliefs, and you're feeling more confident and motivated to pursue what you want in your self-worth, in what you value, and your income. Let me know how that resonates. Yes. Okay. Tarot message of the week. What do we have? All right. As always, I've already shuffled. So I want you to just settle in, take some deep breaths, and choose a card, 1, 2, or 3, and we will get started. If you chose card number 1, you got King of Cups. Okay, emotionally intelligent king. You are maybe feeling this week like you have a greater sense of control and understanding of your emotions. Maybe you're navigating some rocky waters with more grace, and maybe you're feeling kind of impressed and proud of how well you're handling some emotions that are coming up for you. It feels like you've been putting in the work to heal, especially heal some wounds, some limiting beliefs. And now you are at this phase where you're becoming the master over your heart and your intuition. Maybe you feel more connected to your intuition than you have before. It feels like you're connected with your emotions, but you aren't at the whim of every emotion and feeling that comes up. It's like you're emotionally intelligent enough to feel it and process it, but you aren't you aren't reactive to it. So this is great. Look at you doing your healing. We love to see it. Okay, card 2, you received the 5 of Wands reverse. Thank God this is reversed. So this is you letting go of the bad vibes, the negative energy, the drama, the competitiveness. Like you see it clear as day now, and you're like, I am not even putting my energy towards that. And yeah, you're over it. You are no longer wasting your precious time and energy on the low vibes. You're seeing things more clearly. It's like you can see what's obviously coming from a place of ego, not necessarily from other people. You're noticing where maybe other people trigger something within you that relates to your ego, but you're able to see it and you're like, oh, like we're working through that. We're already internally working through those shadows that come up. So it's like, this shit ain't even bothering you anymore. And you can see what's real. You're letting go of old connections that maybe were bringing you down, and you're focusing more on what is uplifting and supportive to you, especially related to your creativity and what you are passionate about, because we're talking about the wands here. And since this is a 5 is all about change as well. So yeah, you're witnessing a change in how you are showing up in your creative projects is what I'm kind of feeling here. So love it. Stay away from the drama. Card 3, you got the Star. This is maybe my favorite card. The Star always comes after the Tower moment, the moment when our foundation crumbles all around us. So with the Star, it's like you are the moment. You are radiating love, joy, hope, and inspiration. Maybe you're feeling like the most you that you've felt in a really long time. You're feeling confident about the direction you're moving in. Like, you know, maybe you had a Tower moment recently, but it's like you see why that needed to happen, and now you're stepping into your own personal power. And you're recognizing how your unique skills and talents are making a positive impact on the collective. This is an Aquarius card, so that's why it relates to that. And you feel inspired to continue to shine your light out into the world. And you know that this alone is bringing a radical change that's needed in society. And you know that. So you're stepping into your Star position, you are shining your light, and you are being that bitch. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Love this for you, especially if you got card 3 last week too, because I think that was like 10 of Swords or something. Like that was an end of a very rough cycle. So love to see y'all getting the Star this week. Okay. Weekly ritual. I'm kind of going to go off the cuff here for this one. But, okay, something that has been... Okay, I got to shout out my friend Nicole, the one that we do book club together. She is doing a clairvoyance class. So she's learning how to tap into her clairvoyance abilities. And she was telling me that one way that they're being taught how to do that is to, hopefully I'm not butchering this, but it's like if you're meeting with someone, what you do is you visualize a flower, and based on like the energy that you're feeling. So you visualize a flower, you see what comes up, and you notice the details about that flower and maybe what those details could symbolize for, you know, what this person might be going through. So I started to use that in my own life. I recently, what I did was I'll just kind of be, you know, quiet. I'll take some deep breaths and close my eyes and just think about visually where I'm at in my life right now. Like, where am I at? So a couple weeks ago, where I was at, I had this visual of me out in space, and I was just floating out into the abyss. Like I wasn't tethered to anything. I was just floating. It felt very ungrounded. So that told me a lot. It told me a lot about how I was actually feeling and maybe what I actually needed in that moment. Maybe I needed more groundedness, and also seeing the beauty in having all of this space to create something that I really want. So the ritual this week is to take literally 5 minutes. It doesn't take long at all, but take a few minutes and have your journal and just think about, okay, ask for a visual of where am I at currently in my life, and just let something come to you. I think sometimes we discredit ourselves and say it's not intuition because we think we're just making this up in our head. But I want to just encourage, it's not going to hurt to just see what comes up for you, even if you think you're imagining it. You know what I mean? Like, let yourself play with this. It's a very interesting tool to help you understand where you're at. So that's how I was feeling a couple weeks ago. And then yesterday when I did it, I visualized myself. Like, again, I try not to think about something specific, but something just comes into my awareness or like my imagination. And I was in a colorful flower field and I was picking flowers, and I noticed that around the flowers that I was picking, there were other plots of land that just had dirt, and they were waiting to have seeds planted in them. And I was taking these flowers and taking them to a table that was outside to decorate the table. I mean, this is so rich in symbolism. And like, what I love to do too is obviously like see what I think these symbol means. But if you're still learning what symbols mean, it's like we can, personally, I love ChatGPT. I know some people don't like it, but this is a tool that I use. So I would use that and be like, okay, like what are some symbols that are coming up in this visualization that I'm seeing? I mean, I do like to use my intuition first to see what, is coming from within first, but it is interesting to just do some research and see what else might be coming through, and just seeing what resonates and what doesn't. But anyway, highly encourage it. I don't know about y'all, but like my dreams have been crazy lately. So I feel like there's something to this visualization technique to understand where we actually are, understanding what subconscious information is trying to come up. Very interesting. Let me know what comes up for you. Very interesting. And what's cool is you can be in different places. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was in one state of mind. Now I'm in a different state of mind. And of course it's going to change. But anyway, pretty cool. That's what I got, y'all. That is what I got. Basically, Venus will enter Aries on Wednesday, and then, Pluto retrograde will happen on Sunday. So, and with retrogrades, it's usually like really close to when they go retrograde, maybe on Sunday, Saturday, or Monday. We might notice somewhere where maybe there's a setback or new information that will spark this internal review and recalibration around those themes of transformation. Pluto. Okay. I think that's enough. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you the best vibes for your week ahead. I know you got this. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.